In every sport, there are always players who transcend the game, defy the loss, achieve extraordinary things. Basketball had Magic, Bird, MJ, later on LeBron James and Steph Curry. Tennis had Serena Williams, Rafael Nadal, Novak Djokovic in that same vein. Golf had Tiger Woods, athletics had Usain Bolt, American football had Tom Brady, the list goes on. These are players who have given fans the greatest moments, constantly beating the odds, defied the loss of the game, revolutionized it, and forever etched in history. Football has had its fair share of these. Leo Messi, Cristiano, Manuel Neuer, all these are players who revolutionized their positions and changed what their roles traditionally meant. Trent Alexander-Arnold had changed the game forever, right? He has changed the way that we see the fullback position forever with his unique skill set, elite creativity, the likes of which you'd expect to see from an attacking midfielder, from the Kevin De Bruynes and Bruno Fernandes of the world, the tempo controlling and the vision of Toni Kroos. Trent changed the way that we see the game, not in the global superstar status of the names I mentioned earlier, but in the quiet, often neglected ways. Trent is a very unique player. He's a very divisive player. He has a unique skill set that sets him apart from traditional fullbacks, but also often he's misunderstood. He is measured by what he lacks rather than the extraordinary skill set that he has. But that divisiveness is exactly what makes him stand apart from the rest. So to really understand Trent, we need to go back to where it all began, where it all started. Trent was born in 1998 in West Derby in Liverpool. Like many Liverpool kids, Trent was raised in a working-class family and a society. He often played football as a kid in the local parks, in the local fields, with the local children, and later on he joined the Liverpool Academy at age 6, very early on. The passing, creativity, crossing, vision, attacking mindset, all of these skills were evident even back then. Initially though, due to his skill set, Trent often played in midfield rather than in defense. His natural instinct was to always attack, move the ball forward, keep it moving. His natural tendency to attack is what made him the player that he is today. When we see success stories like this, like Trent, like Bukayo Saka, like Phil Foden, Marcus Rashford, Kobbie Mainoo, I think making it through the academy is easy, but moving through the ranks is really hard. Less than 0.5% of youth players under the age of 9 make it to the clubs that raised them. Barely any of them establish themselves as first-team regulars. You see these big names flourish from the academies and you think it's all suns and roses, but it's not. It's extremely rare. Each club has that one kid that came through the academy from a young age, a local lad that made it in the academy and made it in the first team. For Liverpool, that was Trent. In the early days, he trained regularly with the first team and eventually he made his debut in the Carabao Cup against Tottenham. His debut was very impressive. Accurate passing, forward movement, everything we know him to be today was displayed in that debut game. His first full season was in 2016-2017. It was mainly cup appearances as a backup to Nathaniel Clyne, but Clyne was getting injured a lot at the time, so that meant more opportunities for Trent, and he took them. He played multiple Premier League and Champions League games, consistently improving. His first goal actually came in the Champions League. Now, as good as Trent was in the attack, he had his deficiencies in defense. He was a very average 1v1 defender, often not being in the right positions defensively, but he always made up for this by honing down on his strengths even more. He became one of the most prolific playmakers in Europe, and he was traditionally supposed to be a defender, so, he was just completely defying the game. Trent also has one of the most odd shirt numbers in the game, right? And this is a bit of a random one, but I thought I'd mention it. He wears the number 66. But why? Why he does this was always speculated. Some thought he wore it because of England's 1966 World Cup triumph, which would be a bit of a noble, kind of patriotic act. But the real reason was very simple. When he first made his Liverpool debut, he wore 66. So he kept this number to remind him of his academy roots, to remind him of where it all started. Trent grew in influence under Jurgen Klopp, and as he got better, Liverpool got better. Liverpool were quickly becoming one of the best, not just in England, but in Europe as well. They signed Sadio Mane, Mo Salah, Virgil van Dijk, Andy Robertson, and Alisson Becker, who would define a generation. Trent and Robertson revolutionized the Liverpool attack despite being fullbacks. They were consistently in the final third, pinging crosses and crosses from their respective sides. By his last season in Liverpool, Trent had registered 18 goals and 64 assists in the Premier League. He holds the record amongst defenders for the most assists in a single Premier League season with 13, which came in the 1920 season, which saw Liverpool with their first ever Premier League title, and also the most assists in his overall 9 Premier League seasons. Trent has had some wonderful moments in the Liverpool shirt, but perhaps his most notable and most unforgettable one came in 2019 in the Champions League semi-final second leg. Liverpool are known for their Champions League pedigree amongst the English clubs, right? They have 6 Champions League titles, and their best Champions League moment came in 2005 in the Miracle of Istanbul, but that's a video for another time. 3-0 down against Barcelona after the first leg. Liverpool were done. They were dusted. But the players believed, Klopp believed, Trent believed, and somehow they clawed their way back to 3-3. And their moment came in the 79th minute. Trent looked as if he was going to just hand the corner off, causing the Barcelona players to relax momentarily. He then quickly sprinted back, took the corner quickly, and Origi scored. They went on to win the tie, and later on the entire competition. Throughout all this time, though, Trent had always been criticized for not being a great defender, despite his production in the attack. He wasn't a great 1v1 defender, often struggling against the most prolific wingers of the world, like the Kylian Mbappés, the Marcus Rashfords, the Vinicius Juniors, and actually his biggest slump came in the 21-22 Champions League final, where he just shut off at the back post, and Vinicius scored the only goal, winning a trophy for Real Madrid in the final. That lack of concentration in the final is not expected from a player of his caliber, to say the least. But, this just made the general sentiment harder on him, harsh, right? It started shifting around this time. People started criticizing him even more. Huge names like Stevie Nicol, Roy Keane, they criticized his lack of defensive ability. The fans never turned their backs on him. No, they always defended their boy. But by the end of 2024, he, Mo Salah, and Van Dijk, who were all pillars of this Liverpool team, all only had a year left on their contracts. People never held it against Salah and Van Dijk because, these are not local lads. They were players who signed from other clubs, right? But they hated the fact that Trent was so silent regarding contract talks. It seemed as if his loyalty to the club was waning and his head was turning. Reports started coming out that Trent was planning to leave on a free, joining one of Liverpool's most hated rivals in recent times, Real Madrid. Plus it was also well documented at this point that Trent and Jude Bellingham were very close friends, so the Madrid speculation wasn't really out of the question. Then the fateful day came, May 5th, 2025. Trent officially announced his intentions to leave the club at the end of his contract.
After 20 years at Liverpool Football Club, I'll be leaving at the end of the season.
And there was massive outreach. People called him selfish for claiming he needed a new challenge. Jaimie Carragher said that Trent had forfeited his status among the Liverpool faithful by joining a rival club.
He may damage his legacy. You said something like that.
He will lose something that he's got right now in terms of Liverpool supporters, whether that's their love for him or that they thought he was, one of our own, if you like. That will diminish. That is something he has sacrificed by playing for Real Madrid. That's his decision.
He was booed by his own fans. They felt betrayed, right? It was very harsh. He'd done everything for them. He won everything. He announced that he was leaving after they'd secured the Premier League title. But come the end of the season, Trent celebrated his title and his 20-year legacy at Liverpool. He left for Real Madrid. But if you hated Trent for everything that happened until this point, as a Liverpool fan, you probably hated him more after what he did at his unveiling, which is speaking perfect Spanish at the Santiago Bernabeu when he got unveiled. It makes people believe that he had made his mind up long before he actually announced it. Right? Even his own brothers in arms, Mo Salah, Virgil van Dijk, they were so cold to him. Utterly cold to the kid. He didn't do anything wrong. He just followed his dream, and he got vilified for all of it. He was even booed by his own fans at Anfield when he returned for their Champions League title with Real Madrid just a few days ago. It's shocking to me. They called him Judas, they called him a rat, they called him a traitor. Every name they known. They even defaced his famous mural. But the question remains, right? Will this affect his legacy? Will his revolutionary time at Liverpool be viewed any less remarkably because of the way the chapter ended? No. Trent will always be the lad from Liverpool who went on to achieve his dreams as local club, a feat that not many get to achieve. His influence on the way fullbacks played in the modern age is revolutionary, and because of him, we will never see that position the same way again. If he has stayed his whole career on Merseyside, yes, it would have been a beautiful story like the Steven Gerrards of the world. But should he have done that? No. It's not a requirement to be a world club man. Trent is in the prime of his life playing for the biggest club in the world after achieving everything at his hometown club. Wanting a new challenge is not a bad thing. The fans are clearly still a little bit bitter regarding the topic, but with time, I think they will see him for the phenomenon he was and still is. It hasn't been the best of starts at Real Madrid for him, being injured, out of favor at times, but there's no doubt that he's going to find his way at Real Madrid and define the next few years under Xabi Alonso. But when it's all said and done and all of this kind of blows over, I think Liverpool fans would see him for the phenomenon that he is. And I think history will remember him kindly.